guys, my lovely friend is getting married next week and I've realised that I've got no clothes. So I'm about to head into town to a large sort of shopping centre called CHIC Building. I haven't been there in a really long time, but people say it's the place to go for clothes. So we're going to have a little bit of a look. Finding clothes in Rwanda is hard. Basically, I think it was around about 2018. Rwanda ceased to import any second-hand clothes from the West. There are really good reasons behind that. I always thought like Western countries sent second-hand clothes as kind of like, like aid, as a goodwill gesture. But it turned out that actually developing countries had to pay for the second-hand clothes, and I don't think that they had much selection of what was actually sent. So they were sort of subscribed to a payment service with sort of no control over how the quality of the clothes were when they got here, or how much of it, and so Rwanda's argument was, well, this is completely suppressing the Rwandan clothes market. People aren't making clothes here because second-hand clothes keep coming in and flooding the market. But having banned the import of second-hand clothes, there really isn't like a textile industry taking over. Like, there isn't much that is actually produced here, so it's just kind of led to people trying to go to Uganda, if you've got the money, trying to go to South Africa, trying to get second-hand clothes or good quality imported clothes, rather than a sort of a flourishing Rwandan clothes market. So it is really hard to get clothes, and it's something certainly expats struggle with. For me in particular, bras, like trying to find bras, because you don't have any shops that are like off the shelf where you have the same kind of style of clothes in different sizes and you can just go in, find your size, select sort of the style that you like. There really isn't anything like that, and even really kind of like flimsy quality, what we would call in the UK Primark quality, maybe the US it would be something like Walmart quality, and you're finding this really kind of flimsy clothing being sold at astronomical kind of high street prices in a lot of these shops because there is no alternative. So people pay well over the odds for kind of dubious quality clothing. Whereas I have to say, I mean, a lot of the second-hand clothing that came in was pretty good. Like, you used to go to Kimironko market and you could spend the afternoon kind of wandering around, looking at things, finding things that you liked that fit. So yeah, I mean, I kind of understand it from both sides. I totally get it from the Rwandan side that, it was an attempt to give the textile industry in Rwanda a fighting chance to kind of take over the market and start to produce clothes that, people would want to wear. But I would say that transition hasn't been wholly successful, and it has just led to a mass shortage of people finding fashionable items that they'd like to dress themselves in. So whenever there is a need to find new clothes, I either order on AliExpress or I get somebody to post it to me from Amazon back home, which is not ideal either really, but at least there's a lot more selection, even if the quality is still exceedingly dubious. But today I'm going to head into town. I'm going to head to CHIC Building and we're just going to go and see what's in there. So if you're shopping for clothes in Rwanda, you've got some idea of what you're looking at. One thing that I do say is if you are moving here, if you are coming to live here as an expat from somewhere else, bring clothes with you. Bring clothes and bring shoes and bring underwear, because those things, they're not easy to get. So I'm here, but I'm never too sure which entrance to go in. So let's walk down to the big entrance that says CHIC Building. Okay, let's try going in gate 4. So every time that you come into public buildings, you have to go through a metal detector and a bag search just to go into like a shopping mall. So right off the bat, we have got a lot of clothing here already. Maybe I maligned it. Maybe I spoke too soon. Okay, so right off the bat, that was a really nice blazer that I just found in wedding colours. So let's see what we've got upstairs. Oh, we've also got office chairs downstairs. I do need one of those. I might go and have a little look at prices. Shoe shop as well. Lots of little back corners. Lots and lots of shoes. Gosh, it just goes on and on and on. I was definitely wrong. I was very wrong. There's lots of choice. Wow, that is a smart suit. Unrealistic waistline, but smart suit. Definitely my style, but I think long sleeves in the dry season would be a recipe for disaster. Need something cool and short-sleeved. Denim? I definitely need to buy some new jeans. Oh yes, I think that's the one. Need to wear a ball gown. Ooh, this might be useful. Vest tops. I love this colour, but it's sort of satin. And the problem with satin is that one, it gets very hot in the sun, and two, it really shows up sweat patches. Oh, I like this. This makes me think of Daft Punk. Oh my goodness, there's a whole other floor. I'm hoping there's a cafe in here somewhere. Oh my goodness me, look at this. Wow, there's so much stuff. Oh, that one there hasn't got his clothes on. Wow. Okay guys, I take it back. I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. The last time I came here was a few years ago, and all of these were sort of, yeah, it wasn't good quality and it wasn't the kind of stuff you'd want to wear. But coming back here now, there are so many different shops with so many different suppliers. There's a whole range of styles. It just goes on and on and on. It reminds me a bit of the old Camden Market days, a little bit less hippie, but like just the fact that you can wander around and there are just like everything you want here. Jeans, ball gowns. I have to say I'm really quite impressed by this. I want to go and eat something before I carry on, but this is pretty cool. Also got some gorgeous traditional wear. You can buy fabric and have clothes made. This is a traditional mushanana, so this is the traditional national dress for women. It looks very much like an Indian sari, but it's two pieces, so the skirt and the sash separately. Very cool during the hot season. I did consider wearing one of these, but I'm just going to look around sort of other options as well. Again, there are so many different options for fabric. These are beautiful and shimmery. And here are some traditional mushanana fabrics, so you could rent a mushanana if you need it for the day. That one's beautiful actually. Here we've got the sparkly section. Everything with sequins. What I like here is that you've got a lot of traditional fabrics, but you've also got a lot of Western fabrics, so you can decide what you want to wear. This is a very nice colour as well. And we do have an underwear shop. So apparently if we go upstairs we'll find the cafe. And indeed we have. Hello Camilla. Oh, that one's fine, yeah, thanks. Oh my goodness, this came so quickly. This looks wonderful. Also got a range of children's clothes as well. I just went to the bathroom here and a lady came chasing me down afterwards because you have to pay 100 francs to use the bathroom. But she has some change, which was good. We've even got ear piercing and more lingerie. I am desperate to buy some bras, but the problem is that they come in different sizes from all over the world. So you've got American, you've got European, not very many British. And I just don't know what the conversion is. And then they don't seem to go any higher than a B, which given the fact that we're in Africa and women here have pretty big boobs, you know, as do European women, you kind of think, well, I think they need to up their sizes a little bit. I feel like the problem is, I think it is all ordered from China, and in Asia, you know, women do tend to have slightly smaller boobs. So it's sort of not really aimed at the market here in Rwanda as sort of like what can be imported. It's interesting as well because I haven't seen a single mannequin, either female or male, that is black. They all seem to be sort of Caucasian mannequins. So I don't know where they've brought them in from. See, she definitely is not a size B. Yeah, it's interesting because it looks like there's a lot of choice, but the more that you start to look around, the more you start to realise that most of it is the same sort of stuff. And it's quite hard as well to find things that you would wear again after a wedding, so you don't really want to spend like a huge amount of money buying an outfit that you're just not going to wear again. And I'm finding it difficult to find things that I think I would probably put on again afterwards. And again, there's that issue that if you do find something, it probably isn't going to be in your size. So if it's bigger, that's fine because you can easily get it tailored, but it still kind of reduces the selection a bit. Oh goodness, this is incredible. See, I really like this blazer, but I do not think that's going to be in my size. Well, that was a surprise. The blazer was actually pinned at the back, so it did fit me. But the problem is I don't have any trousers to go with it. It gets complicated, this, doesn't it? No, this is getting too much for me. I've got to get out of here. I thought it was kind of chill to begin with, but now it's just constantly, hey sister, hey mama, hey sister, hey mama, come look, come look. And you're just not allowed to just look around. Like the moment that you step into a shop, people just kind of zone in on you. And it gets a bit overwhelming, you know, because you want to go and have a look around and you just want to be left to browse, but people, they just come and they stand right next to you, And it says, come and look, because everybody's so desperate to make a sale, which I understand, but it just makes for a really stressful shopping experience, which is why I don't think people like to come to these places. They prefer to shop online, because it just gets overwhelming quite quickly. Some nice jeans though. Okay, I think we've stepped into the Twilight Zone section of CHIC Building, where all the shops have finished. I can see daylight. Run towards the light! Run towards the light! Time to get a motor home. So it was a lot better than I was expecting. You know, I went in there, last time I was there, it was all kind of Chinese polyester suits. Like rows on rows on rows of it, but there's definitely a lot more in there now. Like you have a lot of the traditional dress, so the mushananas and the robes, and you know there are a lot more sort of styles than before, and a lot of stuff from Zara for some reason. I guess like when Zara clears out its warehouse, Rwanda is where they send it. So you know there was a lot more in there, but still, I think the two main issues for me, like the reason I wouldn't go back there and shop is, first of all, it's just the hassle. Like people are on you. I mean, when I first started looking around, it was really, really calm. And I literally noticed in my head, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Nobody's kind of come up to ask me if I want to look at anything yet. And I sort of thought, oh, you know, yeah, okay, this is good. But then definitely by the time I finished lunch and I started wandering around again, it was just constant. Like every single person is like, welcome, welcome, welcome. And it's like, just stop, please just stop. Like, so, you know, if you're going shopping for clothes in the UK, the only time you're going to get followed around a shop is if you look really suspicious and the security guard thinks you're going to steal something. You know, if you're just a normal shopper, just wandering around the shops, you know, you're left alone to do your thing, just to look at the things, you know, go and try them on if you want to. But there's definitely a different sort of culture here where I don't know if it's because, like, I think middle class Rwandans like to be pampered. They like to have somebody kind of on their sort of periphery at all times, waiting to serve them and waiting to help them, whereas like in the West it's just like, you know, no thank you very much, I'm fine, just let me browse. Basically, if I see something that I like or if I need help, I will call you. So it's like this constant, there's always somebody constantly like standing next to you here, which automatically makes me back out of a shop. I'm not going to stay if I feel like I'm being constantly observed. So it's that kind of atmosphere where you're just not able to just look around. And the problem is, because it's all like one giant, I hate to use the word thrift shop, but what I mean by that is not second-hand clothes exactly, but nothing is labelled, you know, size-wise. You have to basically go through the racks. It's like TK Maxx, or I think in America is it TJ Maxx, but it's that kind of thing. It's like every single size under the sun, all kind of on the rails and on the racks, and you have to go through and find something that A, is your style, and B, fits you, which brings me to the second problem. It's not off the rack clothing, which means like you find something that you really like. If it's too big for you, it's fine, because you could take it to a tailor, you could get it adjusted. But if it's too small for you, then, you know, so there's never more than one item in a size. And it's just, it was like that bra shop. It's like, how come that your bras only go up to a B cup? And like I say, you know, we're in Africa. Like in the UK, they go up to a double D. You know, it's like, how have you got the smallest bras on planet Earth in a country where women traditionally don't have the smallest busts? It just feels very much like it. I think that is all imported from Asia, and it's not the right size for Africa. And, you know, kind of like I said about all of the mannequins, it, I mean, I don't know, are there no black mannequins? It it feels weird wandering around an African shopping mall and every single mannequin is white. It's odd. Just odd. And you know, and has a bust that is bigger than a B cup. So I just got tired really quickly. Like, first off, like fending off all of the shopkeepers. If you so much as glance in a shop, it's like, welcome, welcome, come in, come in, come in. Because, you know, they are desperate to make a sale, but that desperation comes onto you as a customer and the stress just starts to build up. It's like, ooh, no, I need to go now. But the second part is the fact that you see something you like and it won't be in your size. And so you're limited to just, you know, going through for ages and ages and ages looking for that one piece of clothing that, one, is your colour, two, is your style, three, actually fits. And put those three criteria together, it's almost impossible. And then, like, you start to realise that actually the variety of styles is quite limited. They all sort of start to look the same after a while. Like, you know, there's some very nice suits in there, really nice suits. I was quite tempted by one, but they're all like long sleeve, and I was having to remind myself that like a suit jacket is not appropriate for this weather. So I didn't buy anything, and I probably wouldn't go back. I am going to recycle something in my closet. I've also got a friend, she's a tailor. Well, you know, at the restaurant we've got Shama, and she has this entire fashion shop, so she does alterations. So actually what I'm going to wear to this wedding, she made me. I wore it for my TEDx talk many years ago, and I still have it, and it looks very wedding. It's quite appropriate for a wedding, so I'm probably just going to go and do that. I don't know, it's just disappointing because, you know, you are so stuck for clothing. You really are. And even though I said, you know, there are rows and rows and rows and shops of clothes, but even though there are so many clothes, it's limited in style and sizing. So, I mean, yeah, it is a problem. Clothing is a problem here. You know, and also I don't like buying on AliExpress because, again, if you buy online, you can't check the size before it arrives, which is a problem. And again, coming from China, coming from Asia, things are, you know, size-wise a lot smaller than European women or African women need them to be. So yeah, there's all of that. Yeah, all I can ever do is like wait until I go back to the UK and then go to the high street shops in the UK, which is once every 2 or 3 years if I'm lucky. So I am really running out of clothes at the moment, and running out of patience with running out of clothes. Actually, my friend, she goes to South Africa when she needs to go shopping for clothes. That's where she goes. I have never been to South Africa, but, you know, if they've got clothes, I'm tempted to try it. But on the upside, I had a lovely milkshake and a very nice burger, and yeah, there we go. So see you in the next one.